If you've been watching the cryptocurrency space at all over the past few months, then you've probably watched the meteoric rise of Dogecoin come out of nowhere. It's currently the number 4 market cap cryptocurrency at the time of recording this video, has flipped other major blockchains like Cardano, and has a ton of momentum that's carrying it towards a price of $1. A level that would have been absolutely insane if you'd thought about that a year ago, even 6 months ago. So in this video, I'm going to talk about everything you need to know about Dogecoin. So if you're trying to decide whether you should take this seriously or sit on the sidelines, I'm going to talk about that as a blockchain developer who works with this technology on a daily basis, and also a cryptocurrency investor myself. So before we get into that, for your run here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. And last but not least, I hate these disclaimers, but this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell any cryptocurrency based on this information. And there's lots of scammers down in the comment section below. Just ignore them. I'll never give you my phone number or ask you to invest with me. All right, so let's talk about what Dogecoin even is in the first place. Because if you're thinking about, hey, should I get into this? Should I sit on the sidelines? It's important for you to understand what you might even potentially be getting into at all. So Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency. All right, so it's been around for a while. It is a fork of Litecoin. So if you look at a coin website like this, like CoinGecko.com, you'll see, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then going on down the list, you'll see Litecoin here. So Dogecoin is a copy of Litecoin, and it really just started off as a joke. And that's really important to understand because that will highly influence how people use Dogecoin. Will they take it seriously? Will they just continue to treat it like a joke? Will it just stay a meme like it's kind of become today? So you have to understand that Dogecoin is not really trying to be the same thing as Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin is a very serious project. It's the oldest cryptocurrency on this list. So it was designed to be a peer-to-peer digital cash solution with a finite supply. It's evolved quite a bit over time in terms of people's perception. And right now it's positioned in the market to be an institutional grade asset where publicly traded companies are buying Bitcoin to hold it on their balance sheet, to use it as a hedge against inflation, and to treat it like an actual store of value that can be taken seriously by, multi-billion-dollar companies. Now, that's not true for Dogecoin, okay? Dogecoin started off as a joke and has evolved into a meme coin that's actually just taken off like a rocket over the past year or so. I want to be very clear here that I'm not hating on Dogecoin. Okay, I don't think it's bad for people to invest in this. I'm not upset that the price went up. Full disclosure, I don't hold any Dogecoin. Would I've loved to have bought some Dogecoin before all this happened? Sure. But the whole point here is that Dogecoin is a very speculative cryptocurrency that doesn't really have a use case compared to some of these other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. I talked about Bitcoin having, this use case as a store of value that is getting taken very seriously by institutions. Ethereum being a cryptocurrency that has smart contracts that's creating decentralized finance, NFTs, and Web3. These are other technologies that people are actually using that have use cases today and that we're projecting out having much bigger use cases down the road. So that's not really true for Dogecoin, all right? You just have to understand that. So I'm not trying to be old man grumpy about Dogecoin. It's just you have to understand what it is. And people are using it like a highly speculative investment vehicle. Now, I know that's true for a lot of other cryptocurrencies too, but you have to understand that Dogecoin is that, but also taking a step down, doesn't have a ton of use cases. So Dogecoin has kind of become a meme. That's sort of the natural evolution of Doge since it started as off as a joke in the first way. And so if you take it like that, it's funny, right? So for people getting into Doge who just want to treat it like a fun thing to do that you're not risking your life savings on and as a fun way to make, some pretty fast money, then I think that sort of is the spirit of where we are with Dogecoin right now. And so that being said, things can change for Dogecoin over time. It can be taken more seriously. We're starting to see some more use cases for Doge, primarily in terms of payment solutions, okay? So, we see the Dallas Mavericks accepting Dogecoin cryptocurrency for tickets and merch, online retailers like Newegg accepting Dogecoin for payments. So it's primarily on payments, right? That's what I mean by actual adoption of Dogecoin. I'm not saying that Dogecoin really stands a chance at becoming the brand new internet money of the future or anything like that. I'm not saying that Dogecoin is going to become the institutional grade store of value like Bitcoin is right now, or that it's even going to come close to having smart contracts and power new financial system like Ethereum or anything like that matter. But what I'm saying is it can become a meme that kind of gets taken more seriously and has wider wider network effects as a payment option for people who want to buy things with it. I think that's probably the most adoption we'll realistically see for Doge anytime soon. And so if you see Doge that way, then I think that's a much better perspective. You're going to try to participate in something like this. Kind of think about it like Elon Musk does. We see him making lots of jokes about it, Doge barking at the moon. It's kind of become a meme. And some would argue that that's all cryptocurrency is in the first place, but those are the realities for Doge. So now let's talk about some other factors for Dogecoin that will affect like how seriously other people take it. Okay. So this is important to understand. So Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency, but it's also a blockchain. Like I said, it's a copy of Litecoin, which is based off of Bitcoin as well. And that's different from other cryptocurrencies. Like, you see Ethereum here. Ethereum has other cryptocurrencies built on top of it, like the Chainlink token, which you can see. Let's just look at others like Aave, et cetera, et cetera. Because Ethereum lets you actually create cryptocurrencies with smart contracts on top of the Ethereum blockchain without creating your own blockchain in the first place. And so for those types of cryptocurrencies, you're actually getting enhanced security from the underlying blockchain itself, which you're not necessarily getting from Dogecoin. And that's a really important thing to understand, is that there are potentially security risks with Dogecoin. Now, this is true for every single blockchain out there. But like I said, not all blockchains are created equally. And so if you're brand new to this space, don't forget, like when you go buy a cryptocurrency, you're putting your money on a blockchain. And if anything ever happens to that blockchain, then there's something wrong with your money. So again, this could happen to any blockchain, but you have to think about likelihood here. If you put your money on top of a blockchain like Ethereum that's very decentralized, there's lots of money securing the network, there's less and less chance that something could ever happen to your funds from an infrastructure standpoint on that particular blockchain. Now that becomes less true for a blockchain like Dogecoin, and even less true for layer one blockchains, that you would see way down on the market cap list. So that's first thing to understand, is there will be some structural risks to Dogecoin that aren't quite as inherent in something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, for example. I'm not saying these risks are incredibly high or anything like that, but they will be higher than these other ones. And that's one of the amazing reasons why I personally wouldn't put a large amount of money in Doge aside from the price volatility. Another thing about Dogecoin and how it's different from a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is it doesn't have this cap supply like Bitcoin does. And I know people who are watching my channel are going to say, oh, but Ethereum doesn't have a cap supply either. I'll get to that point in a minute. But, Bitcoin basically has a finite maximum supply here. There's only ever 21 million Bitcoins created. And Dogecoin has an unlimited supply here. Okay, so that's fundamentally different. Now, that doesn't mean it's bad because it has a fixed issuance schedule where they're created at a very predictable rate, and that the percentage increase in the supply will actually go down over time, because if the rate stays the same and the supply is always growing, then the percentage change goes down. So that's not a deal breaker for Doge. It's just something you have to understand because it will affect how the tokenomics work compared to something like Bitcoin. And of course, the reason I emphasize that point that it's not a deal breaker is because that's also how ETH works, which is like a lot about on this channel. If you haven't watched those live streams, you can check them out, Monday through Friday about 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So the last kind of risk with Dogecoin that I want to talk about is its limited availability on exchanges, decentralized exchanges, all that kind of stuff. So number one is, there's only a finite number of exchanges that actually support buying and selling Dogecoin. So the downside there is you have to KYC in many situations. So like give them your ID and all your personal information before you can purchase Dogecoin. And there aren't really many decentralized exchanges where you can do that. So that's a downside in my opinion, as someone who really likes decentralized technology, likes to trade on DEXs like Uniswap, for example. And you're also limited to the amount of liquidity that's available on these exchanges, as opposed to a much larger cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum, or a really large Ethereum-based token like Chainlink, for example, which you could trade on a decentralized exchange and also trade it on many centralized exchanges, to where if you had to go sell some in a really important time, let's say the market's crashing, you could find liquidity in multiple places, not just a really small number of exchanges. Now, you might say the counter to that is Dogecoin is such a large cryptocurrency now that there's going to be a lot of liquidity on each individual exchange. But I personally like having all the options, being able to trade on a DEX and also multiple centralized exchanges to limit the number of times I have to KYC and potentially dox my identity to the dark web. And so the last thing is the actual price of Doge. Let's talk about that. So, we saw the meme floating around of $1 Dogecoin. And if you look at the price history and you thought about that a year ago, people would have called you absolutely crazy, since Dogecoin was $0.002 or, 0.2 cents. Nobody would have believed you a year ago, probably not even 6 months ago. But it's absolutely taken off like a rocket. And the sheer momentum, just by the sheer momentum, it looks like we could reach $1, which is the meme that's been floating around for a few months now. So is that possible? I do think it's possible based on the sheer momentum, not based based upon any real technical fundamentals, but because Doge started off as a joke and has evolved into this meme that people like to use for speculative investing, despite the fact that it doesn't really have much use case underneath it. And I'm not saying that that's fundamentally bad if you treat it like a fun thing, like sort of it is what it is, and you take it at face value, you know the risk that you're getting into, and you knowingly assume those risks, then I think it can definitely be a fun thing. But, me personally, I'm going to stay out of it. So that's all I got for today. That's what you need to know about Dogecoin. As always, smash that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, and you want to get your hands dirty, then how can you get started today? You can go to my YouTube homepage. You can find any of my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. If you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I can show you how to become a blockchain master step-by-step from start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, you don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.